everyone. This is Alan Elliott with AE Fitness, and today we're doing a special client spotlight. So we have Sonnie joining us here today, and we're just going to go through some interview, almost like a testimonial of her fitness journey. So really happy to have you here today, Sonnie. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we do have some questions that some people may commonly ask or working with a trainer, but we'll just start off with the first question today. What motivated you, Sonnie, to start working with me originally?
Well, I had tried several different exercise routines and try and go into the gym, and just nothing seemed to stick. I would start out, and then I just realized that I needed that accountability and having and the knowledge that you have. So that's what brought me to AE Fitness.
Okay, I appreciate that. And originally in the beginning, what specific goals, I guess, would you say you set out to achieve, or what vision did you have in mind when it came to your journey?
I really just wanted to lose some weight and get
Okay.
a little more fit. After having my daughter, it had been quite a few years, and I just, like I said, I'd try something here, and it just either it didn't work out for the schedule or it wasn't fun and enjoyable, so I wouldn't stick with it. So I wanted something that I had, again, that accountability was a huge thing, and just to lose some weight, lose a couple dress sizes, what it was the end goal.
Okay.
So
Awesome. No, that's noteworthy. Absolutely. And then, can you share any specific challenges that you faced along the way with me, and maybe how you overcame them or how we strategized to overcome them?
I think just schedule was the biggest thing, making the workouts priority. And, the gym is not necessarily right around the corner from my house, but we still were able to make it work,
Mhm.
whether it be classes or training one-on-one. Alan, you've just been very accommodating as far as that is concerned. I even hate to say it, but I have some equipment here at home, and even at home, I couldn't bring myself to doing it. So it
Okay.
was good to have that accountability and a place to go. If I wasn't in the gym, I wasn't doing what I needed to do. So
Okay. So the gym is kind of like iron therapy for you, or you have that extra motivation or push to say, "Hey, I'm going to commit to this, and I feel better when I'm here, and this is what I like to do."
absolutely,
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess that kind of goes in line with how you describe the support and the guidance you received throughout the journey. So, I guess right now, can you share any specific achievements or milestones you've reached during your training and time with me?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know absolutely I'm stronger. That's probably the most important thing. And I can feel that just my energy level, mental psyche, I guess, is just
Yeah.
the workouts definitely are more all encompassing than I ever thought that they were going to be. I guess initially it was just the goal of losing weight, and I did accomplish that as well. I reached a goal of 25 pounds, so that was
Awesome.
huge. And so, just feeling better in my clothes, feeling better with my little one running around, just enjoying life a lot more.
Awesome. And then this is kind of impromptu, but can you tell them a little bit about our tests when we reach different milestones of your goals? I would hand you a dumbbell, and what would happen?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the first one we did was at the 15-pound, when I had hit 15 pounds or I'd lost 15 pounds. Alan
Mhm.
hands you a dumbbell, a 15-pound dumbbell, and you really can, it puts everything in perspective to really see and feel just how much weight you had lost. And then it, with that, it kind of proves to you how much work you've put into it, and the commitment. And so then again at 20 and 25. So
Mhm.
that's pretty incredible, and really puts it into perspective. So
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing, I try to tell people is, you see yourself every day, but you don't realize, you really are making, dramatic changes, but it is a, 24/7 lifestyle. You commit to nutrition, strength training, and cardio, and then you look back and we do our check-ins. How often were we checking in about? Do you remember?
I think initially it was about 2 weeks, and
Okay.
just with schedule and stuff, I think it got closer to 3 or 4, but,
Okay. What were some other check-ins that you did with yourself outside of our time together? How did you keep yourself accountable?
well, the weekdays always seem to be easier for me
Mhm.
to keep accountable and to keep in check and in line. The weekends, there's no rhyme or reason, no schedule. I'm going to this sporting event or doing this with the little one, and it's just a lot more on the go. And
Yeah.
so there were good weekends. I can't say that all were bad. There were good weekends where I was intentional and prepped prior to the weekend. So we
Mhm.
had nutrition taken care of. But if I'm being honest, the majority of the time, the weekdays are where I thrived. I think that was where I would try and like get back on board every Monday. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you know, Monday I would notice that it was easier, or the getting over that weekend hump, if you will, it didn't take as long. It
Sure.
started out, it would take all week to feel
Mhm.
good, and then it'd be the weekend and start over. And
Yeah,
now, as long as I'm dedicated on Monday, by Tuesday, I'm already feeling like I bounced back. So
perfect. So I guess you kind of say if you can launch successfully on Monday, whatever happens on the weekend stays on the weekend.
that's right. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I'd be a lot further along if I had listened to all of your advice, including those last 2 days of the week. But it's just easier for me Monday through Friday.
Okay, of course. Yeah. And I really feel good about that thought process because you've had more good days than bad days. So you're a sum of the whole, and then everything kind of moves forward in a momentum standpoint. So once that momentum kicks in your favor, you really just have you have that momentum, and then you also have that grace. If you do have some bad days, they're not going to totally derail you.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. And then I know you kind of answered this again, but I guess for people who may have never worked with a personal trainer before or have had a system such as mine, what would you say sets the training experience with me apart from those other fitness programs you tried? Just again, for emphasis, if someone's curious about these services.
Wow. I mean, I think that every aspect that you can think of when it comes to fitness, you set it aside. The accountability is huge. The support that you give, whether it be in the gym or outside of the gym, whether it have to do with exercising or nutrition, the weigh-ins were a big, that obviously you can really see and that's tangible, see your growth, or
Mhm.
whether you're going the right way or not. And it's a lot easier, I think, to make the changes when you know the track that you're on. I mean, the availability that you offer is for each and every topic, it has been incredible.
Okay.
A huge portion of this is because of that, because I don't know that, it's a lot easier to slide away and do the things, or not do the things you're supposed to be doing, when you have no check-ins and you don't have
Yeah.
somebody, is there supporting, encouraging you along the way, and meeting you where you're at too. There, over this journey, there have been a few different seasons, and whether it was a busy season or a lull, each time we were able to just kind of tweak some things here or there to accommodate
Mhm.
and continue moving in the direction that I inevitably wanted, the goal. So
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So definitely, I always like to strive that, you're always in this for yourself, but not by yourself. And as long as you're willing to take action, we would always be able to make progress. But we knew sometimes if we had a setback, it was just a setup for a comeback, right?
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. But if someone was there any, I guess, initial reservations you had, or if you think someone would be on the fence, I guess, what advice would you say when it comes to if they heard this message and you could speak to them directly, in the mind of a lady? I'm a guy, but ladies have definitely helped me grow and sustain my business. But how would you say the difference is when we train versus a guy versus a girl? And then you could kind of put that together for us.
Okay. Well, one, I just think that just try it, because I don't know that there's anything I could say to make anybody try it, but I think that
Mhm.
the moment that they did, they would understand it doesn't, it's just a really good fit. And then, as a female, maybe there was a little intimidation initially, not wanting to, still wanting to be feminine and still having a feminine look. A male who
Yeah.
does have a completely different body type and different muscles and different hormones and everything that creates us. But Alan, I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he does have a lot of female clients, and you just can see in every exercise, every workout, there would be a tip here or a tip there of what he might do on his personal workouts, but what might not work for a female body. So
Mhm.
that was huge. And if there was ever a question by any female whether or not a male can cater to them and know that our muscles and the sizes that we want to be, don't doubt it, because Alan's got you.
Awesome. Well, I know, you and I have trained together uniquely in different variations. So, we work together in small group training. We've also done one-on-one training. And then can you tell them a little bit about the digital or online support that I've given you as well?
Yeah. Again, when I'm in the gym, I feel like I'm at my best. Alan has always provided that digital content. Whether I've used it on my own or not is another story, but that's on me. But yeah, I mean, there's libraries of workouts and videos to know that you're doing proper movements, which I know is very important to him. He really brings that home with everything so that you're not having any injuries, whether they're instant injuries or down the line years later, and you've done something that you didn't realize at the time, but it can cause damage in the long run. So he's just really on top of that, and that's much appreciated because I'm not in my 20s anymore. So it's good to know that I'll be healthy and able to function and mobile years down the road.
Absolutely. Well, I believe that kind of wraps everything up. I feel like, in our time together and your journey, I've been able to, support you along the way and then provide you a new opportunity and aspect of how you view yourself and your fitness goals. But I guess in closing, would you say, do you see this more as a lifestyle or mindset shift or kind of all of the above? How do you kind of view or envision your fitness journey to this day?
Definitely a lifestyle, definitely a mindset shift. I think that whereas before I had to put in effort to think about these things, now if I'm not thinking about it just naturally, daily, several times a day, whether it's what's on my plate and what's going, in my stomach, or have I exuded some energy today and become stronger? And
Mm.
so it is definitely complete shift in my life, 180-degree.
That's awesome. So on a candid note, any funny stories you want to tell them about the workouts we do? I know a lot of ladies, they fear the hip band.
The hip band, it doesn't start out so intense, but then they
Yeah.
get smaller and it gets more
Mhm.
intense. No, I mean, I think just going to you and specifically Alan as a trainer is very personable, very respectful. That was one thing I remember early on, you know, bringing up how things can get awkward in big gym settings. And Alan is very respectful, also personable. I feel like we're great friends. He's not just a trainer. I love hearing stories about his wife and his son. And so, I don't know. And along the way, there have been some, how do you say it? Don't fall into witness protection.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'll dovetail on that.
Yeah.
So, just talking to people, she mentioned witness protection. So I believe that as a personal trainer, I'm also in the accountability business. So, accountability means I do care about you. And when you fall into witness protection, that just means I don't hear from you or you ghost me. And there's no problem big enough to overcome if we can just communicate. I will hold space for you and you let me know what you have going on. But witness protection is definitely not the place you want to be when it comes to your training.
That's right.
Yep. Well, great job today, Sonny, and thank you for participating in our first
Of course.
client spotlight. And then we have a tradition, we're in person and we finish the workout, we would do a fist bump to each other, but since we're digital, we'll just finish with a fist bump to the camera.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Great job today.